Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to Cambrian Virtual Classroom. This is your English class. Let me introduce first. I am SM Saifullah, nickname is Shakil, and I am a lecturer in Department of English, Cambrian College, Chattogram. So let's get started for today's lesson. What can we see here? What do you think is happening here, students? We can see someone is spraying something into some fruits, someone is pouring something into a big bowl, and all these, what do you think is happening here? I think you are right. We are going to discuss about food adulteration. Okay, and the name of the lesson is Food Adulteration Reaches New Height. The lesson is taken from Unit 13 of your English for Today textbook, and the name of the unit is Food Adulteration. The lesson name is Food Adulteration Reaches New Height. We will discuss this in two sections, and this is the part 1 of the discussion. What we will learn from this lesson? What is the learning outcome? At the end of the lesson, students will be able to read through survey data. The students can identify sources of food adulteration and will be able to write newspaper reports. Okay. Now come to the text. Unsafe level of pesticides are present in around half of the vegetables and more than a quarter of fruits sold in the capital's markets, a recent survey has found. So from a recent survey we found that unsafe level of pesticides. What are pesticides? Pesticides is a kind of insecticides or fungicide that we use to destroy, to kill harmful insects. Okay, so pesticides are actually useful. We need it because without pesticide our agricultural production will be much less in amount that we cannot survive. We cannot feed the whole population of the world. So we need pesticides, but there is a limit up to which we can tolerate. Our body can absorb those pesticides. So when this safety limit is crossed, we call it unsafe level. Okay, so unsafe level of pesticides are present in around half of the vegetables. Actually, there is a survey conducted by a group of people, a survey, and from that survey, a survey is a kind of research based on a group of people or on some thing or product. So the survey people collected some vegetables and some fruits, and they found that around half of the vegetables and more than a quarter of fruits, 50% of the vegetables and a quarter means 1/4 of something. Okay, 25% of something. So the survey people found that, the survey researchers found that almost half of the fruits, vegetables and more than a quarter of fruits are contaminated with unsafe level of pesticides. Okay, the vegetables are actually sad because they have been contaminated. A 15-member team of the National Food Safety Laboratory with support from the Food and Agriculture Organization came up with the findings. Okay, a 15-member team. The survey has been done by a 15-member team. So which are the organization that construct this team? Actually, two organizations have came forward to build this team, and the organizations are, first one is National Food Safety Laboratory and the second one is the Food and Agricultural Organization. These two organizations or these two agencies formed a team of 15 members who have done the research on on some agricultural produce. Okay, so after they came up with the findings. The findings we said in the previous slide. The finding was the adulteration of fruits and vegetables, and they mentioned the numbers, the half of the vegetables and more than a quarter of fruits. And the findings, how they came up with the findings, how they gathered the findings. After collecting and testing food samples, they collected some samples. What is sample? A sample is a smaller portion of something taken from a bigger portion. Okay, so when we take sample of people, we don't collect all the people. When we collect sample of some vegetable, we don't collect all the vegetable from a market. We take some amount from different vendors or sellers. Okay, so samples can also be said specimen, model or example. Okay, after collecting samples and testing them, the team came up with the findings. And from where they collected the samples? They collected the samples from the capitals Dhaka, Gulshan, Karwan Bazar and Mohakali markets. They collected these samples from 3 markets of the capital Dhaka. Okay, so here you can see someone is taking a chicken sample for some research or testing. The survey report, a copy of which was acquired by the Dhaka Tribune. Dhaka Tribune is a online based newspaper. You can see the homepage of Dhaka Tribune from a year back, and the Dhaka Tribune is actually reported these whole text we are now going through. It is a report of Dhaka Tribune. So from that report we can, they acquired the report, read that. From that report we can read that nearly 40% of 82 samples of milk products, fish, fruits and vegetables contained banned pesticides. So we actually get a number that the team, 15-member team collected actually 82 samples. And which are these samples? These samples are from, they collected milk, they collected some milk products, that means cheese, butter, ghee. Okay, they also collected fish, fruits and vegetables. And after analyzing these 82 samples, they found that among those 82 samples, 40% were being contained, 40% contained banned pesticides. Banned means prohibited. That is prohibited. Pesticide, we have already know what is a pesticide, such as DDT, Aldrin, Chlordane and heptachlor. These are some name of banned pesticides. This is the atomic molecule of DDT, diphenyl trichloroethane. Okay. The amounts of pesticide in these samples were found to be 3 to 20 times greater than the limit set by the European Union. Okay, already we said that we need pesticide, but there is a limit up to which we can use it in our agricultural field or in fruits or vegetables. And the limit, there is a limit which is set by the European Union. What is European Union? European Union is a political and economic union organization formed by 27 member states, mostly located in Europe. They set a limit up to which we can use pesticide in our foods, and the limit the samples that have been collected from Dhaka's 3 markets, okay, they found that the limit is being surpassed by from 3 to 20 times greater than the limits set by the European Union. Around 50% vegetables and 35% fruits were found to be contaminated with unsafe level of pesticides. This is a repetition of the previous slide. In previous slide we saw that around half of the vegetables and 35% and more than a quarter of fruits were being contaminated with pesticide. Here we are seeing exact numbers. There they said around half, here we can see 50%. The same speech in a different phrasing. Okay. So the fruits have been contaminated, the vegetables has been contaminated. Okay. Analyzing more than 30 samples of turmeric powder. What is a turmeric powder? Turmeric powder is a spice that we use in our cooking. Okay. So the survey team collected 30 samples of turmeric powder. The 30 samples are not from the same source, of course. Some of them are branded, brands like Radhuni. Some of them are packaged but not branded, and some of those are openly sold. So among these 30 samples, the team also found that nearly 30% of the samples, from 30% of the 30 samples, contained traces of lead chromate. What is lead chromate? Lead chromate is a chemical compound look like almost like turmeric powder, but this is very fatal when we consume it. Okay. Lead chromate, they found traces of lead chromate. What is trace? Trace means evidence, proof, footprint, hint, or sign of something, sign of presence of something. Okay, sign of lead chromate's presence in the turmeric powder. And lead chromate can be fatal, very harmful, very dangerous if swallowed or inhaled. Swallow means to eat something, to pass something through our mouth and throat and then to our stomach. Okay, consume, devour, or eat can be synonymous to swallow. Or if we inhale lead chromate, inhale means to breathe in something through our nostrils. Okay. These 30 samples also contained lead 20 to 50 times above the safety limit of 2.5 parts per million set by Bangladesh Standard Testing Institute, or BSTI. Okay. A while back in the previous slide we saw that these 30 samples, from these 30 samples, 30% of them contained lead chromate. Lead chromate is a compound, and these samples also contained lead. Lead and lead chromate are the same thing. You see, here we can see lead. Lead chromate is a compound, lead is an element. Okay, very poisonous element, and we can absorb lead at a certain limit. Up to a certain limit we can absorb lead, but the research team found that the use of lead is 20 to 50 times above the safety limit. This is a huge amount of lead, and this can be very fatal when we eat those food processed by the spice. And what is the limit? The limit is 2.5 parts per million. What is parts per million? ppm. Parts per million. In 1 million molecule of turmeric powder, we can tolerate 2.5 molecule of lead. It is acceptable. Anything above these is not acceptable. But the survey team has found that 20 to 50 times above the safety limit of lead has been used. This is an image of lead. Okay. And who set the limit? 2.5 parts per million lead can be used in turmeric powder. Who set the limit? Bangladesh Standard Testing Institute, or BSTI. You may see this logo in different food packaging. BSTI is the organization responsible for standardize or to permit if something is allowed to consume or not. Arsenic and chromium above safety limits were detected in a total of 5 out of 13 rice samples. Arsenic is an element, it is also poisonous, and chromium is another element. These things aren't very favorable to our bodily functions. So when we take these items in excessive amount, we don't take it knowing that we are taking it. We have to take it through other foods unknowingly, but these can do much harm to our body. Okay. Now we will play a game, a quiz game. Let's start. What is the correct meaning of quarter? Let's see the options. A place to live that has been provided by a company to its employee. A coin worth 50 paisa. Both the above options can be correct, or one of four equal parts of something. When we say quarter, more than a quarter of fruits, we say that 25%, more than 25%, and a quarter means 1/4 of something. So the answer should be the last one. Let's see. Oh wow, you are a genius. Okay. Next question. What does the word survey mean in the passage? Research, consider, measure, or plot. We already said a survey is a kind of a research. So I hope this is the answer. Let's see. Yes. Wow, you are on fire. Next question. DDT, Aldrin, Chlordane and Heptachlor are. What are these things? Food items. Forbidden pesticides. Antibiotics or rice samples. I think you are right. These things are forbidden pesticides. Okay? Right you are. Alright students, this is all for today. In the next class, we will see the second part of the lesson. Until then, be good and take care of yourself. Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum.